Hello, let's look at how to build your own images. I have this project which right now is empty and I want to build a web page. So my first recommendation is to go to hub.docker, this is the web page for Docker Hub, and look for existing frameworks, existing images, existing services that you might want to build upon. In this case, I'm going to look for the HTTPD, which is the Apache web server. And in fact, the documentation accompanying these images is very useful because it's already telling me the steps to use this image for your own image. In this case, it says copy this into the Docker file, and yeah, it should work. So let's create the Docker file with those commands. Let's look at those commands. It's stating that it will use as base the image HTTPD version 2.4, so it's built upon that image, and then it copies everything in this directory. Let's copy the name of this directory into that directory inside the image. Okay, let's save this. Let's make the directory public HTML, and let's create a awesome page, index.html. Using my large knowledge of HTML, I can write a simple web page. Okay, guess that no one is writing HTML this awesome. Okay, so now we have the Docker file already filled in. We have the page that we want to publish. We go back, and the next steps is to build and to run. So how do we build? Docker build, unsurprisingly, and in the case of build, we want to always tag our images. So in this case, I'm going to use a name for this image, and then we want to state where it should look for the Docker file, the Docker file. Okay, and Docker file must be as here with capital D. So it looks into the Docker file and it says, okay, now I have to download or use the Docker image HTTP 2.4. It already has this. Okay, so now it is downloaded the image. Okay, no, it's there. This is the hash for this stage, and then the next step is copy everything from this local directory to the image directory here, and this is creating a new hash for this image. So as we see, it has finalized building the image, and then because we have it has tagged this hash with this name. So now we can run this image by using that name. That's why we want always to use tags in order to refer to our images. So let's run on port 8080, map to the port 80. By default, the HTTPD will publish on port, or will listen to port 80, but in this case what we want to do is my awesome web, so that it runs our image and not the HTTPD image. So let's run this. It's now running, so we will go back to the browser and go to localhost 8080. It runs, but if we go to the actual index.html, there we see the web that we wanted to create. Now imagine that instead of a awesome web page, we want to create a web application or any kind of server. The only thing that changes in that case is the Docker file. So instead of using this Docker file, we might want to run or create our image from another image. We might want to customize that image in some other way and add the different commands, the different directives for the Dockerfile image to create our own image. And finally, we might want to change the ports or whatever, so that when we run our new application. But the process is the same: create the Docker file, build it, and then run it.